So my name is Michael Klemm. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the OpenMP Architectural Review Board.
Okay.
As such, I'm leading the members of the Architectural Review Board, influencing the business decisions of the OpenMP Corporation. So basically, the entity that owns the OpenMP trademark, owns the OpenMP specification, and the whole process around defining the OpenMP language.
Mm-hmm. So an OpenMP is about parallel processing, about making parallel processing easier?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's a major player in HPC.
Yeah.
It's a shared memory threading model, so it kind of complements MPI, and it actually blends well with MPI and message passing. It's here for 20 years now, so we're celebrating the 20th birthday now.
Congratulations. So,
thank you. It's not all my pleasure to in the history, but it has been a good history of successful enabling of HPC in 2 decades.
Mm-hmm. And OpenMP is something you could say it is different from MPI. MPI is also it's also parallel processing, but it's also the names are similar. It's different, yeah.
Right. So MPI is on the cluster level. So it originated from distributed memory and message passing.
Yep.
It now has some form of shared memory support as well. But traditionally, OpenMP was the model to do the threading within the node, and then have MPI on top of that to communicate with other cluster nodes.
Okay, what's the current state of OpenMP? Where are we?
So currently we have OpenMP 4.5. That's the current specification. Last year we released a technical report as an kind of an alpha release of the upcoming OpenMP 5 specification. We're planning to have another technical report next supercomputing in November this year, which will be the beta release. And then hopefully in spring 2018 we will launch what we call the public comment period. So then we have the ready to be released specification. We're asking the community for feedback, for concerns they might have with the new version, errors, bugs, whatever they find. And then in 2018 we are going to release supercomputing as well, OpenMP 5.0, and that's going to be the next major piece in the OpenMP history.
And what are the most important things that are being worked on?
So right now we're working on, it's already in the alpha version, we're finalizing it on a tools interface. So now you can have performance tools and have a well-defined interface into the OpenMP implementation, so that any OpenMP tool can talk to any OpenMP implementation and provide some context information about the performance behavior of the application. We're also working on a debugger interface, so basically the same idea, but now for correctness tools. And we have lots of refinements of existing features. We're working on rebasing the C++ base language to be C++ 14. Right now it's, I think, C++ 89 or something. So that's really major lifting for us to ensure that OpenMP is still compatible with the latest developments of the base languages that we support. We also support Fortran 2003, most of the features. We're working on 2008 support. So we are trying to evolve OpenMP along those lines as well. There are additional features in terms of tasking support. So one thing we added already in the alpha release is support for task reductions, so that you can have a full task tree unfolding and then do a global aggregation of partial results into a global result. Something that we have for 2 decades in the work sharing constructs, but which was kind of missing from the tasking construct so far.
Okay.
So there's lots of features to come.
It sounds all like a lot of integrating it with the whole ecosystem of what people do when they develop
Yes,
programs.
yes, absolutely. So the key aspect of OpenMP always is to make it a good language that is expressive and capable of expressing what you need in your applications. And so we're trying to follow along not only with the hardware trends to make sure that OpenMP is the programming model of choice to program latest and greatest and also future hardware, but also with trends in more complexity in terms of what the application wants from a parallel programming model.
Okay. There's a lot of developments now in new architectures.
Yeah.
And especially because people think that more star comes to an end and you need something else and you need to go to exascale. So there's a lot of experimenting, let's say, different kinds of architectures. How does OpenMP handle that?
So OpenMP tries to stay hardware agnostic.
Yep.
Right? We don't want to have, OpenMP for that specific hardware because when the trend is over, then OpenMP would become irrelevant. So when we introduced in OpenMP 4, we introduced the offload model, and the offload model is meant to support anything that basically takes data, does some crunching on it, and then sends data back to the host. So that model already fits, FPGAs, GPUs, co-processors, whatever is coming. So the only question then is how can you map the base language code like Fortran code to the underlying hardware. But OpenMP itself doesn't make any assumptions or any big assumptions about the underlying hardware.
Yeah, it's more about people being able to implement it.
Exactly, right. You may restrict yourself to a subset of Fortran or C++ maybe, but from an OpenMP's perspective, we try to be as agnostic as possible.
Okay. Just to give an idea, how many people are involved in OpenMP development?
So right now we have 29 ARB members.
Yeah.
So that's the contributing organizations. We have several vendors. The big names: IBM, NVIDIA, Intel, ARM, just to name a few. There are much more. We have big user organizations like Lawrence Livermore, Sandia Labs, Oak Ridge, Barcelona Supercomputing Center, who also contribute from a research perspective.
Yeah.
And overall, I would say that the involvement is about maybe 50 to 60 people, so individuals that are coming from these institutions to support the language development. Well, one thing I could probably add is we are an open organization, so we welcome feedback. We are looking for new members. So if there is an institution out there who wants to be more involved with OpenMP, we are happy to talk to them on different levels. So they can just come to us and provide feedback. There are conferences and workshops. So there's OpenMP Con, which is kind of a users community conference in conjunction with IWOM, the International Workshop on OpenMP. That's the research conference with scientific papers. So you can engage with us through those channels. There's an OpenMP website where you can find information and also, send us contact information so that we can follow up just in case somebody's interested in joining as a member.
Yeah. And when is the next conference?
The next conference is starting, I think, September 18th this year in Stony Brook, New York.
Okay, I understand that it travels around the world.
Yes, so IWOMP traditionally is on a 3-year cadence. So we try to do Asia, Europe, America, Asia, Europe, America. OpenMP Con follows along, and this year it's America.
I hope to see you in 20 years from now, and then celebrating the 40th anniversary.
Yes, absolutely. That would be awesome. By then, hopefully, exascale
will be there. Yeah. Well, Fortran also lived that long, so
yes,
why not?
Yes, it's going to be there, absolutely.
Okay, see you in 20 years.
Thank you.
Thank you for this interview.
You're welcome.
Van Primeur Magazine, this was Attem and Reporting.